Good morning. It is Monday and it is 11:37. We're starting a new reading vlog. My sleeping pattern is fucked, so I'm still awake at 5 a.m. and I've just literally had to drag myself out of bed right now. Well, at 11 o'clock, I've just been getting ready. I have been snoozing my alarm since 9 a.m, so that's how this week's going. Yeah, I'm really excited about this week. We're doing Galleyathon, which is hosted by Connor and I think Brooke as well. I will leave both of the links to their channels down below. Go check them out, they're amazing. And I'm really excited. The idea behind Galleyathon is that you catch up a bit on your NetGalley TBR and get your rating up a little bit. So I'm really here for this because my rating is shit. I'm not fully sure what my rating is, to be perfectly honest. I think it's around about 34%. It would be really nice to get it up to 50%, but I honestly, I can't be bothered doing the maths and I don't know how many books it would take for me to get that far. I think it would take a lot because I have a lot of books I need to get through, a lot of backlist, because your girl's lazy. I had a massive falling out with my Kindle last year and I have had that falling out for approximately, I don't know, I've been falling out with my Kindle for probably the best part of, I don't know, maybe 7 years or something. I haven't read a book on Kindle in such a long time until this year, and I did a vlog of can I fall back in love with my Kindle, where I read like 3 Kindle books over the course of a week, I think it was. I'll leave a link to it down below if you're interested in go checking that out. It's one of my favourite vlogs actually. I had such a great time because I did fall back in love with my Kindle and I really enjoyed the books I was reading as well, which was, you know, bonus. So yeah, I fell back in love with my Kindle. I actually ended up getting a new Kindle because I had like a really old Kindle that I bought probably 12 years ago or something. So I ended up getting myself a Fire tablet and I read all of my books on here now. So this really sort of helps with the screen a little bit. Sometimes I wonder if it's good and sometimes I wonder if it's not because I get migraines. So I don't know whether sometimes it would have been better for me to get, you know, like a Paperwhite one where it's not an actual screen, if that makes sense. It's like paper. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but if you know what I'm talking about, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so I have a lot of backlist books because obviously I wasn't reading them because of my Kindle. I was falling out of my Kindle. It did not stop me from requesting them though. I am a terrible human. I know, I understand. I'm going through the motions. I'm working on it. So I have a few books that I would like to get to that I own physically now, because either because I've been sent a physical copy by the publisher and I'm doing a review for it, or I've gone out and bought the book myself. So there are 4 challenges that have been set. There's also a bingo board, but I'm just going to go through the 4 challenges and let you know of a couple of other books that I would really like to get to. I'm not going to go through all of the books that I would really like to get to because that would be overwhelming, and I've been feeling very overwhelmed recently with my TBR, so I don't want to do that and then end up not reading anything. So the prompts are oldest on your TBR. So I'm going to go for Printed Letter Bookshop. I can't remember who this is by. I'll show a picture of it here. It is definitely the oldest book on my TBR. So yeah, I'm going to go for that. I can get this on audio from BookBeat, so that's going to really help me out and I'm looking forward to reading this one. Newest on my TBR, I've already started this. I started it at gone midnight this morning. So I'm going for Unsportsmanlike Conduct, which is by Shanna Swenson, and it comes out on the 28th of this month. I'm really excited about this one. It's 280 pages long. It's not very long at all, and I got 16% in last night. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's going okay. Most looking forward to, I'm going to go for Cinderella is Dead for this one by Kaylin Bayron. If you're wondering where I'm looking, I've got an entire Excel spreadsheet here with all of the books. Well, not all of them. Some of them I appear to have missed off, like Printed Letter Bookshop. So Cinderella is Dead came out on the 6th of this month. It already came out. I just didn't get a chance to get to it, but I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. Cannot wait to do so. I believe this is like a very loose Cinderella retelling, but it is queer and I'm here for it. So very excited. And then book you regret requesting. I don't usually regret, well, I do on occasion, but mostly because I'm like, oh, for God's sake, I haven't got to that one yet, and I've got a million others that I've got behind it that I need to get to. Probably honestly, the one I probably regret requesting the most is the 10,000 Doors of January by Alex C. Harrow, only because since everybody's read it and the reviews have all come out, I believe it's very flowery writing, and I hate that. As a general thing, I hate it. I don't like flowery writing. I've DNF'd everything else that I've read with flowery writing, so I don't have high hopes for this book at all. I'm unsure whether to just say I'm not going to review it or try it and just see what happens. I have the audio from Audible, so I'm wondering whether to just try it and see what happens. The actual book I have down for this is Ploughed Over by Ellen Ann Callahan, and I have had this for a little while now. I think this is one where you could, you know, read now. For some weird reason, I just went for it. It's a thriller. I believe it's something to do with a woman. She's got a new identity. She's moved to a new town, but she's getting herself in a bit of trouble again. And I'm not sure. Oh, she rides the plough, the snow plough in this town. It's obviously a very snowy town. I think it's coming back to me now, the storyline. She rides the snow plough in this very snowy town, and one day she comes across a dead body and she's in a bit of bother again. So I think that's what happens. Now that I remind myself of that story, I'm actually really looking forward to that. So obviously I don't regret that one at all. So maybe we'll go for 10,000 Doors of January for that one and see whether or not I can get through it. I don't reckon I will, but I need to go into it with no preconceived notions so that I give it a fair chance. So I'm really hoping that I actually like it. So those are the books that I'm sort of looking to get to for my actual TBR. This is the longest introduction ever. Just a couple of other honourable mentions that I would really like to get to. One of them I'm definitely going to get to because I'm finishing it today is The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. I am reading this, I'm reviewing this today for a blog tour, so I need to finish this off today. I am currently 153 pages in. I also have this on NetGalley, which is why I'm mentioning it, but I was sent a physical copy by the publishers, so thank you to Hodder Escape, because I'm on the blog tour, which is being hosted by Pride Book Tours. So really looking forward to that one, enjoying it a lot. I'll go into it a bit more later when I let you know how I'm doing with it. I'd also like to get to The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams. I was sent a physical arc of this. I now have the audiobook from NetGalley. I know I'm absolutely useless. I just didn't get a chance to get to this. It came out in July, on the 9th of July, and I just never got a chance to get around to it. So I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe picking this one up as well. Also, I had If I Never Met You by Vahira McFarlane. I love Vahira McFarlane's writing. She reminds me of Lindsay Kelk so much, and I cannot wait to get to this. The audiobook is now out on BookBeat, so I'm going to love to get to this one as well. I picked this up from the charity shop on the weekend, so yeah, it would be nice to get to this one as well. It's got my favourite trope in it ever, fake dating, so I'm looking forward to that one. And my plan for this morning, well, the rest of what's left of this morning anyway, it's almost dinner time, 5 minutes to dinner time, is I'm gonna nip to B&M's. Actually, I really want to get some new bedding. I want to get some white bedding. My grey one is looking a bit tatty now. I've had it for a while, and I just basically take it off my bed, wash it and stick it back on my bed the same day, so it's constantly on my bed. So I want to get some new bedding. I'd like to get a white one, and then I can use it as like a backdrop sometimes for my Instagram pictures. So yeah, I'm going to nip to B&M and see if I can get some bedding. There's a massive one around the corner from my house, so I'm going to go there. And then it gets me out of the house for a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and I am going to finish The Space Between Worlds and do my review for that for Instagram for the tour today. And then I am going to carry on with Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I'll keep you posted though and let you know. I'm going to go because this is 20 minutes long now, and it's only the introduction. So I'm going to go, and I will check back in with you later when I've got something to update you on.
I don't want to let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay even when you wanna walk away? When times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna let you down,
later on in the day now. It's a lot later on in the day. It's 8 o'clock. I wanted to tell you about a book that I finished, but I don't have it with me. I wanted to tell you about The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. It is Micaiah Johnson. I've been saying it like this now for about 2 weeks and wondering whether or not it's the right way to say it, and it is. It was confirmed at the end of the audiobook. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really, really good. So we're following, very, very briefly, we're following Kara, who basically lives in a time where you can traverse between worlds. There are multiverses and you can travel between them. So the only way you can travel between them though is if your doppelganger is dead on the other world. If you travel to a world where your doppelganger isn't dead, the chances are you will not survive the traverse. So Kara is, of the 380 realities that have been unlocked, Kara is dead on all but 8 of them. However, one day she travels to one of the other realities and her doppelganger isn't dead. She survives the traverse. The world is a lot different in this one than what it is in all the others that she's ever visited, and something goes down and it sort of changes a lot of things for her, and she ends up down a path she wasn't expecting. So yeah, it's really good. A lot going on in this. Captivating, confusing, complex, but very, very good. Loved Micaiah Johnson's writing style. I'll definitely keep my eye open for more from her, and I really, really enjoyed the combination of traveling between multiverses and also the doppelgangers as well. It could get very confusing at times though, because there's another thing about Kara that makes this very, very confusing. When you read the book, if you read the book, when you read the book, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's sort of revealed within the first, I would say 50 pages, but I can't quite remember if that's true or not. I'm fairly certain it is, but it is a spoiler, so I won't tell you what it is. But yeah, if you've read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read the book yet, but you do read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about when you read it. But it's very, very good, and I highly recommend it. So I do have this as a NetGalley ARC, so this will count towards Galleyathon. It's just that I had it sent to me by Hodder, the publishers, for a blog tour. So thank you to them for sending me a copy of this. Really, really appreciate it. Absolutely gorgeous book. Loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. I am about to continue on with Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Show a picture of it here because obviously NetGalley. Yeah, I'm about to continue on with this. Actually hoping to finish this today as well. That would be awesome if I could finish 2 books today, because tomorrow I am at work, so I won't get the chance to, I don't think I'll get the chance to actually finish anything tomorrow. I will be able to start something else, but probably won't be able to finish anything. Already 16% through this. I started it gone midnight. I'm going to continue on with Unsportsmanlike Conduct, but I'll give you an update with this either when I finish it or if I don't finish it tonight, a bit later on. Also, I just wanted to let you know as well, things have changed. So I was supposed to be reading Cinderella is Dead for a book I'm most excited about, but I've just had an email today from Tandem, who is a company that I do some read-alongs with every couple of months, and they have a spot has opened up on their Cinderella is Dead read along. So I'm going to be waiting for the book to come through for that, and we'll read it with the read along, like buddy read thing. So we're not going to be reading that this week anymore, which is a shame. So I need to pick a book instead that I'm most excited about, and I don't have, my computer's over there. Punch in the Air is one I'm really, really excited about, so I could go for that, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted though for what I've decided to change that to, because obviously we're not reading Cinderella is Dead now anymore. So I might go for Punch in the Air instead, because I am really, really, really excited about reading that one. But I'll keep you posted, and I'm going to go and read. Hello, hello. Okay, it's a bit later on. It's 10:20. I got 30%, ooh. In a twisted turn of events, I got 30% into Unsportsmanlike Conduct, and I'm gonna DNF it. I'm feeling really, really compromised about this book because, sorry if you can hear the traffic, it's fucking hotter than the sun in England today, and I've got the windows open. And I live on a main road. I'm gonna DNF it because Okay, so I'm not a prude, and I understand, 100% understand flirty banter, I understand teasing each other and things like that, but I believe there's a very fine line between teasing and flirty banter and sexual assault and harassment. So for me, this basically, I think I've explained to you at the beginning of this vlog what this book is about, but we're following an NFL player called Travis, and we're following Skylar, who is she's the assistant district attorney. I want to say defence every time. She's the assistant district attorney, and they're on the run from a mob who have kidnapped Travis's brother Tucker because he has a gambling problem, and Travis has been throwing his games and things like that. She's involved because it's one of the mobs that she's been looking into, and they're on the run. So these two used to go to school together, so they know each other from the old days in school. However, Skylar used to be like a chubbier girl, she was an ugly duckling type girl, but Travis never bullied her or anything. In fact, sometimes he actually shut a few people down when they bullied her in front of him. But she's sort of like all grown up now, and she's come into her own, and it's the typical guy wasn't interested in her when she was an ugly duckling, but now she's a beautiful swan, he's all over it like a trampo chips. So that's happening. However, in fact, there's another thing I'm thinking about now that I don't particularly like. I don't know. Anyway, so the thing that's bothering me the most is Travis and the way he speaks to her. So I understand flirty banter. Understand it, get it, 100% here for it. I am not shy from a smutty book. I love smutty books. If you've been here for a while, you will know this. I love a smutty book. I love all the sexy books. So this book though pushes it one step too far. There are several things that happen in here. I'm just going to let you know now, there are going to be spoilers from this point on. So if you're interested in reading this book, don't carry on listening to me ranting about this. I'll put a time stamp here or something to let you know where you can get to if you want to skip this bit. But very briefly, he is very explicit in explaining what he wants to do to her, and she's made it very clear that although it's very obvious she's interested in him, and as the reader we know she's interested in him, but she's made it very clear to him that he's dreaming and he can do one, and she's not going to sleep with him and all this lot. Anyway, they get to the cabin where they've run away to, and again he's very explicit in what he wants to do to her. The first night they spend together, he's on the couch, she's in the bed. She wakes up in the morning to him with just his boxers on, in bed with her, cuddling her, groping her. He's got his hands on her boobs, he's actually groping her. And when she's like, Travis, what the fuck, get off me, this is sexual harassment, he's like, he continues to grope her harder, and he's like, oh come on, you know you enjoy it, blah blah. And for a minute she's like, okay yeah, it feels really nice, blah blah blah. But then she gets out of bed and she's like, no, what the fuck, I said no, back off. Anyway, he then starts groping himself and playing with himself, and she's like, what the actual fuck? And she's toying with the idea of just getting in bed with him and sleeping with him. She obviously wants to do it, so I respect the fact that she wants to do that, and I get it, but I just feel like he's pushing his limit too much. Do you know what I mean? He's pushing his luck too much, and it's a lot. And then not only that, so that bothered me, and then not only that, she's actually told him that day then she actually told him that she's in love with him. She's been in love with him since school, so she's been in love with him for a really long time. She thought it was a schoolgirl crush, and it's not. She's actually in love with him, and that's why she won't sleep with him. He goes quiet. He obviously doesn't feel the same way. He goes quiet, and they go around the supermarket to get some food and things like that, and within, like, I don't know how long the time has passed, but like 20 minutes or something, he's smacking her ass in the thing, groping her in the supermarket and all this lot, and then he's back in the car again going on about things he wants to do with her and all this lot, and she's like making it pretty clear that she's going to chop his balls off and everything, and he's like, oh well, before you chop it off, make sure that you have a good go with it first, and just think about the women that will come after you. And I was like, mate, she's fucking told you that she's in love with you, and now you're going on about the fact that you're going to bang her and then sleep with a load of other women after her. What is your problem? So I can't carry on. I can't carry on with that. I know she's going to sleep with him, and I respect the fact that she's into him and she loves him and all this lot, but obviously she's trying to protect herself by saying no and trying to stay away from him and all this lot, which he should respect that. If he doesn't feel the same way, he should respect it, but he obviously doesn't. He couldn't give two fucking shits. He just wants to get his end away. And and I know she's going to sleep with him. I know full well it's coming. No pun intended. But I cannot continue to read this book and watch how he manipulates her into it. I can't do it. Cannot continue. So 30% in, I've DNF'd it. Those are the reasons why. So it's really stressed me out because I feel like I'm being a prude. I just feel like there's a fine line between flirty banter and sexual harassment. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's tap dancing right along that line, if not tap dancing right into sexual harassment. Like, he's well on his way, and I am not here for it. I cannot do it anymore. He's so cocky, don't like his attitude, I just think he's an absolute pig. So I just can't do it anymore. So we're DNFing it. That's the end of that. I don't know what to pick up next. I feel really stressed. Okay, so newest on your TBR was unsportsmanlike conduct. I've DNF'd it, so that's that. Oldest on my TBR is the Printed Letter Bookshop, which I've not started yet. It's an audiobook, so I'll probably start that later on in the week when I've got chores to do. Most looking forward to, it was going to be Cinderella is Dead, but I've mentioned I'm going to pick up Punch in the Air instead by Ibizaboy and Yusuf Salam. So I'll pick that one up instead, and then Regret Requesting. I said I was probably going to go for 10,000 Doors of January for that, didn't I? But I still kind of really want to read Ploughed Over now that I've mentioned it. But I don't know if I fucking regret requesting unsportsmanlike conduct now. That's what I'm going to do, I think. So I'm going to start reading Punch in the Air. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to calm down and start reading Punch in the Air, I think. So I will probably see you tomorrow now. I've recorded so much today. I've probably got near enough an hour's worth of footage today. Just on Monday. It's gone well. I will see you tomorrow. Today I haven't read a damn thing, and because I'm getting tired, I'm very, very sleepy, I want to go for a nap, but it's too late for a nap now, if that makes any sense. It's like 20 to 8, so it's too late for me to be napping now. If I nap now, I will be awake all night. So I am going to go up, actually, just lie in bed and listen to an audiobook. There's no way I'm going to be able to concentrate on my Kindle, or a physical book. So I started Punch in the Air last night, and I managed to get 26% in, something like that, 26% in, I think. So I'm really enjoying that so far. It's very, very good. It's quite hard hitting, and I can definitely, you know, hear Yusuf in there, and I can see his story and how the stories definitely cross over. So it's very, very good. There was also like an intro from Ibizaboy going on about when she first met Yusuf Salam and about how she has since bumped into him. So she met him before everything went down with the Central Park 5, and then she met him about 3 years ago again, and that's how they've ended up coming together and collaborating on this book. So yeah, it was a great intro. It's very, very good. I'm loving it so far. So I got about 26% into that, I think, yesterday before I went to bed. So it was good, but I think I'm going to go up and just listen to an audiobook now of something that's already been released. So I should probably listen to the Printed Letter Bookshop, which is the oldest book on my NetGalley shelf, but I don't want to. So I have a couple options. I actually think I'm either going to go for, I was going to pick If I Never Met You by Hiram McFarlane, but it's the longest of the three that I was going to, of options. So I think I'm either going to go for the Love Square or Confessions of a Bookseller. And I think I might go for Confessions of a Bookseller only because it will be really, really simple. This is not a story. This is a collection of diary entries from Sean about people that come into his bookstore, phone calls that he takes, questions he gets on email, things like that. It's just hilarious. I am obsessed with this series of books. The first one was Diary of a Bookseller, and I just cannot stop reading them. I just think they're fantastic. So I think it's going to be really good just to lie in bed and listen to a bit of this. So yeah, I just love this book. Okay, so I've already started it. I started this like when I bought it last year. So I'm up to February. This is done by month. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna lie in bed and listen to some of this tonight. I think that's my plan. So this will be really chill and funny to listen to in bed. I won't need to concentrate too much, and it will probably actually really relax me to help me fall asleep tonight. I was still awake at 4 o'clock this morning, so, and then I was up at 9 for work. So I'm gonna go to bed. I'm really tired. This heat is not helping, so I'm gonna go, but I will see you tomorrow probably. Okay, it's actually 10:05. I have been awake since about 7, but apparently fell back asleep again for a couple of hours. I went to bed last night and listened to a bit of Confessions of a Bookseller. I managed to get to page 84, so I was on page, where was I? I was on page 30, so I listened to like 54 pages, which is fine. So yeah, it's good, it's funny, and I really enjoy it, it's good. But I went to sleep really early last night, so I think I was had my phone turned off and on the floor for about 9:30, so I was so tired. So I slept a lot, which is fine. I just feel that little bit, you know, like you've probably slept a little bit too much and you just feel a bit meh. So I just need to sort myself out. I've got some water. Hydration is key, especially when it's so fucking hot outside as well. And then I've got some breakfast, so I'm going to eat this while I'm reading. And Galleyathon are hosting some sprints right now, starting at 10, so they started 5 minutes ago. So 45 minutes for the first one, and then I think we'll probably do like a 15-minute break, and then maybe an hour for the last little bit, because it's like a 2-hour sprint, 10 till 12. So I'm going to take part, hopefully try and finish Punch in the Air. I want to try and finish that during this sprint, and then I started the day off really well because I finished a book by dinner. That will be really good. And then I've got some work to do, so then I'll listen to an audiobook while I'm working, either Confessions of a Bookseller or Love Squared. I think I'll pick one of those two up. So yeah, but I'll check back in with you when I finish Punch in the Air and let you know my thoughts. Hello, it's a bit later on. It is currently 22:03 in the afternoon. I was involved in a reading sprint this morning from 10 till 12, so it was a 2-hour reading sprint, and I managed to finish Punch in the Air by Ibiza Boy and Youssef Salam, and I gave this 5 stars. It was fantastic. So this is a story told in verse following a young boy who is sent to juvie for a crime he didn't commit, which is beating up a white boy. It follows Amal through his trial and then through his time in juvie, and it's just really well done the way it's done. It not only follows Amal sort of being convicted of a crime he didn't commit and then his time in juvie, it follows him through his art as well. So he is an artist. He was applying to go to an art college before all of this happened, and he does painting as well as drawings and stuff, and he's also a poet. So yeah, it's really good. It just follows him through those stages, and I think a physical copy of the book would be amazing. Unfortunately, the e-arc is very broken down, so pages are split in half halfway through a piece of art, and also with it being in black and white, I don't know if the art will be in colour in the book or not, but with it being on the Kindle, it's sort of in black and white, so I'm not sure how that will work. And also some of the with it being told in verse, sometimes the verses were broken up in places they probably shouldn't be, and obviously there are no full stops and things like that, so it kind of didn't, sometimes the lines would run into one another and it was supposed to be on the next line. Sometimes it didn't make a bit of sense, so I can't wait to get a physical copy of this and reread it, be able to see the artwork, understand it a bit better, and obviously have all of the lines in the right places. But yeah, it was really good, and I highly recommend picking this one up. Like I say, Youssef Salam is one of the exonerated 5, that's what they call them, not the Central Park 5. The exonerated 5, so it comes from a personal place for Youssef. This is obviously pretty much an own voices story essentially, but for a different crime committed. And yeah, I highly recommend picking that one up. It was amazing, really loved it. So I have been listening to a little bit of the Printed Letter Bookshop while I have been working. I think I've just about finished my work now, so that's good. I've listened to 2 hours 24 minutes of the Printed Letter Bookshops. There's 8 hours 43 minutes left to go. I'm going to get to the end of this chapter, and then I think, if I'm correct, there is another reading sprint for Galleyathon. Yeah, 3 o'clock, so in 15 minutes. So I'm going to try and get to the end of this chapter before that starts. in 15 minutes. And then I want to pick up another arc on my Kindle. So yeah, I think I might go for Grave Secrets actually and read that one. I think it might get me. I'm like really in the autumn Halloweeny mood, and I kind of want to start like Halloweenish reads. I don't read horror, but I will read like thrillers and things like that. So, and I'll dip my toe in a little bit of horror as long as it's not too scary. But yeah, I'm thinking about picking up Grave Secrets actually, because that's a book that's due to come out in September. So I'll keep you posted though. Okay, so it's currently 11:10 on Wednesday evening, and I can't remember the last thing I updated you on. Did I tell you I was going to pick Unsportsmanlike Conduct back up? Because that's what I did. I did start, Grave Secrets, I did start that. It's really good. I got 10% in or something. Yeah, I got about 10% in, and then I got really grumpy because I couldn't stop thinking about Unsportsmanlike Conduct, which is the book that I DNF'd a couple of days ago. I've been able to stop thinking about it since, and I can't decide the reasons why. I picked it back up deciding I was just going to go for another chapter and see what happened, and as it turns out, round about the 40% mark it picked up. So we get the actual backstory behind Travis, and we get Skylar's backstory as well. She's a bit of a whiny cow, to be honest. She was doing my head in partway through the book, so it's another negative for the book a little bit. She's very whiny and very childish in a lot of places. Don't get me wrong, she's not had it easy. She was heavily bullied in school, and she's very insecure. She's just found out that her ex cheated on her and things like that, so she's very insecure at the moment. So I semi-understand it in that sense, but she's also quite childish in another sense as well. That bothered me a little bit. I was getting a bit sick of it, but it started picking up from the 40% mark, and I actually really enjoyed it. So for the first 40%, I would say the book was around about 2 stars. The last 60%, I would say it would be a 4 stars. So overall, I think I'm going to give the book 3 stars. I want to carry on with the series, ironically enough. Imagine that turnaround, because I did not see that coming. I really hated this book on Monday, and I got myself really riled up and angry about it. But on Tuesday, I woke up thinking, have I made the right decision? Should I have DNF'd that book? And I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. Don't get me wrong, nothing excuses some of the ways that he was talking to her, but it explained a lot of his personality, and I by no means fell in love with Travis as a person. I didn't like him as a person. I wasn't a big fan of him. I actually liked him more when he wasn't around her, if that makes any sense. I feel like the primal barbarian type character that came out of him when he was around her, because he was constantly fucking horny, was a bit of a dick. But when he wasn't around her and he was just around his teammates, ironically enough, he was a completely different person. It's really weird. So yeah, but I feel like the sideline story, like the sideline story that was going on in the background with the mobs and the gangsters, where his brother was kidnapped, was resolved very quickly in the middle of the book. It was really weird. I thought that was going to be towards the end of the book. It was resolved really quickly, and then we just went on for the rest of the book then about football, and them two just shagging constantly, which I didn't particularly mind, but kind of feel like if it was going to be a book about football and romance, just be a book about football and romance. But if you're going to throw a bit of a thriller element in there to make it a bit darker, at least let the thriller element run along a little bit further. Like, it was odd. It was a little bit odd. It felt like it was all over the place. It was only 280 pages, and I feel like it was like a 400-page book. It felt a lot longer. It was really weird. Lots of mixed feelings about this. This is why it's getting a 3-star sort of middle of the road rating, where I'm at work. So I know I won't get a great deal read tomorrow, only when I get home from work, which will be later than usual because I'm going to my nan's after work. So it's probably going to be 6:30, 6, 7 o'clock before I get home tomorrow, which will be a little bit of a bummer. But I'm home all day Friday then. I've got no plans Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so 3 days of reading. Not gonna argue with that. So yeah, I'm gonna go anyway because this update's really long. and I will check back in with you tomorrow. Okay, good afternoon. It is Friday the 14th of August. I did not film yesterday. I wasn't very well at all. I started feeling really sick at 4 AM in the morning. Woke up feeling, well, I wasn't even asleep, but kind of like woke myself up from having my eyes shut at 4 o'clock in the morning, feeling really sick, and the feeling just didn't go all day. I think it's the heat. It's a lot cooler today, thank God. So it was a lot cooler yesterday actually as well, but Wednesday was so fucking hot. So yeah, I didn't read a great deal yesterday. I actually read a book that is part of the Black Romance book club. So I read Liquor and Laundry for that. I'll just show a picture of it here. I won't go on about it too much, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. I think I might pick up more from that author. I've never read from them before, but I might pick up more from that author. So I am about to, I'm actually going to start a new book, which is stupid, I know, because I'm partway through Grave Secrets. I should finish Wonderland, and I am also listening to the Printed Letter Bookshop and Confessions of a Bookseller. I'm partway through 4 books and I should be focusing on them, but I requested and very quickly got approved for Real Men Knit, so I really want to pick this up. I'm desperate to pick this up, so that's what we're going to do. Today's focus is going to be on that, so I'm excited. It's going to be good. I think this is like 330 pages long or something, so yeah, looking forward to it. So I'm going to start this now, and I will check back in with you when the readathon reading has finished at 2 o'clock. It's 6:15 in the evening. I've just had some tea. I made a gigantic salad.
I don't know if it's echo.
Is it chips?
So much hate from that down the chips.
You say it's not crisp, it's chips.
Oh, see. I'm so sorry. I've probably been 15 minutes and not started reading. Why do I get so distracted by these things? I'm so sorry.
I know. We have an entire live show.
Good morning. It is 11:25 on Saturday. I've been up a while. I've had some breakfast. I've washed the pots. I've just potted around a little bit, and I have been updating my Excel spreadsheet for my NetGalley books. So I've been up for a while, but I was just contemplating what to pick up next, because I finished Real Men Knit last night and I really loved it. Literally bang on midnight, so I managed to read it in a day. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was great. So we were following 4 now grown men who were adopted by a woman called Mama Joy when they were younger. These 4, other than the middle 2, are not related at all, other than the fact that they've all been adopted. So we have Damien, who is the eldest. We have Noah and Lucas, who are brothers. Lucas is the eldest out of them 2, Noah's the youngest, and then we've got Jessie, who is the youngest overall. Brothers Noah and Lucas are Asian, Black Asian. The eldest, Damien, is Black Latinx, and Jessie is Black, but he, from his mother's side, but he thinks that his dad may have been white, but he's not sure. So all of different ethnic backgrounds. They live in Harlem, and Mama Joy basically runs a knitting shop. Now we start this at the very beginning with a woman called Kerry, who is 27, and she works in the knitting shop. She's worked there for a really long time. She's been going there since she was a kid, and she's really close with Jessie. They're the same age, and they've grown up together. Jessie is a playboy. He plays about a lot. He screws around, fucks up all the time. Damien works, he's like a Wall Street, he's an attorney actually, but like Wall Street type attorney, you know, like top-notch attorney. Lucas is a firefighter, and Noah is a dancer. He goes like on tours and goes dancing and stuff. So Jesse is a real fuck up, and he's known as like family's black sheep. So we start off with a chapter from Kerry basically explaining to us that Mama Joy has very unexpectedly passed away that week, and it's been the day of the funeral, I think, or the day after the funeral, and obviously the boys have to decide what to do with the knitting shop. Now the knitting shop is not only the knitting shop, it's their home, it's where they've grown up. This is like a 4-story building in the middle of Harlem, and they have to decide what to do with it. Now Jesse decides that he wants to keep it, and he wants to try, it's their home, he's the only one that really lives there permanently. Obviously Noah's away all the time with work. Lucas tends to spend a lot of time at the firehouse, and Damien's got his own place on the upper whatever side, and they've all got their own things going on. However, Jesse obviously still lives there, and he doesn't want to let go of Mama Joy just yet. So they agree that they will try and keep it on after massive deliberation. They agree they'll try and keep it on. Kerry says that she will stay and try and help Jessie out, even though she's just got her degree and she should be looking for other places. She's still looking for other places like full-time jobs, but the boys are really thankful that she's going to stick around. And then, you know, things happen. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be like Bromance Book Club a little bit, but actually it wasn't. It was nothing like Bromance Book Club. It was just really, really good. I kind of really want stories for each of the brothers, but I don't know whether we're going to get that. I don't know whether this was just a one-time deal, so we'll see. So yeah, I was just wondering what to read next. Parcels come through, and this is what I'm going to pick up instead, I think, if this is what it's supposed to be. Yay! So we're going to pick up instead today Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. This I have as a NetGalley arc, but I just haven't picked it up yet, and it's recently come out, and now Tandem has sent me a copy to do as part of a read along, so I might as well get it done today or this weekend if I don't get a chance to finish it. But actually this doesn't look too bad because the text is relative size. And yeah, so I'm gonna go and take an Instagram photo for this so that I can post that now for the read along, and then I am gonna make a start on this, I think. So that's my plan for today, to read this. Also, I want to watch the qualifying, the F1 qualifying today. It's the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend, so very excited to stick that on as well. Keep you posted anyway, let you know how I get on.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay?
It's Sunday and it's currently 7:20, and we're going to wrap this log up here. I have pretty much edited everything up until this point, so I just need to add this clip and we're good to go. So I'm going to try and keep this brief because I have rambled a lot about these books throughout this reading vlog, and I don't want to go on much longer. If you want to know more about my thoughts on these, I will link my Goodreads down below. You can go and check my reviews out. Also, there will be a mid-month wrap-up later on in the month, so you can check them out on there as well. So I managed to finish 6 books. I'm partway through several more that I didn't finish. I'll talk about those in a second. But I managed to finish 6 books, so I'm really, really happy about that situation. I have reviewed all but 2 of them. So I've reviewed 4 of them. I just need to review another 2, and then I will show what my percentage ended up being here, because obviously I don't know yet at the moment. So yeah, this will be the end percentage that I finished on. So I started on percentage of 34, I think it was, and this is my end percentage. I did sort of go through my NetGalley and sort of go through some of the books that I'd said last year that I wasn't going to be able to review. So basically there is a situation where sometimes they will do graphic novels and I will request a graphic novel and I don't download it in time before it gets archived, and therefore I can no longer read it. So I went through and managed to see that somebody else had written on it that They didn't have a chance to download it before it was archived. Unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to read it, but they're hoping to get their hands on a physical copy, and then they'll come back and review it then. And then they just give it like an average rating. So I went through all of those and gave them a rating, because otherwise, if you say that you didn't get a chance to read it because it was archived beforehand, it actually affects your rating. It doesn't affect your rating like negatively or positively, but what happens is those books are still sat in your books needing to review sort of section. So when you get to a point where you've reviewed all of your books, you still won't be at 100% because you've still got these books lying around that you've not reviewed because you didn't download them. So I just made a note that I will go through and try and get my hands on copies of these and review them, but otherwise I've given them like 3 stars. I've just given them an average rating, and that's what I've done. So that's bumped my rating up a little bit more as well. So we'll see what you've seen now what my percentage is. So the first book that I finished was Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. The doppelgangers traveling through multiverses, lots of sci-fi elements in here, relatively complicated, really enjoyable, very captivating. Loved it, gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Very, very good book indeed. Thank you to obviously NetGalley for giving me all of these books, sending me all of these ARCs, but also thank you to Hodder Escape for sending me a finished copy of this one as well. Really appreciate that, so thank you to them. Then I read Punch in the Air by Ibiza Boy and Yusuf Salam. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This is I don't know how much own voices they would call it. I think it is own voices really. It's told in verse, and it's basically about a boy who gets sent to prison for something that he didn't do, and it goes through his process of going through court and then his time in prison, not only through his words but also through his art as well. He's an artist and also a poet, so it goes through that, and it's relatively own voices in the sense that Yusuf Salam is one of the exonerated 5 from the Central Park case. So if you don't know about that, go and check it out, because show on Netflix about it and everything. I'll show a picture of the show on Netflix here, but yeah, go and check it out because it's shocking, absolutely shocking and shocking. Loved this book, fantastic, 5 out of 5 stars. Can't wait to get my hands on a physical copy so I can give it a reread. Very, very good. Then I read Unsportsmanlike Conduct by Shana Swenson. Shayna Swenson, I don't know how you pronounce that. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This I actually DNF'd on Monday on day 1, and then ended up reading again on day 3 and managing to finish on day 3. In the end, gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was good to some extent. I just think that the author could do with working a little bit more on, I don't know, I think basically it was deemed that I came to the conclusion that it was relatively rushed because it's only 280 pages, but also the last, I would say, maybe 100 pages felt like they were 300 pages long alone. So I feel like the back end dragged a little bit. The front end, I went through an entire rant about this, so I'm not going to do it again. The front end, there were some problems. It was problematic in the first 40%. The last 60% was okay. It just dragged a little bit. Overall, the book was fine. I am looking forward to the next in the series and following Brett, who is the next character that we will be following, and I'm just hoping that similar mistakes are not made in this book, otherwise I won't continue on with the series overall. So I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Real Men Knit, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one, following 4 brothers who have been adopted by a woman. She has passed away and they want to keep her, well, one of them wants to keep her knitting shop open, and there is a woman involved, and I loved this. It was fantastic, really enjoyed it. Then I read Confessions of a Bookseller by Sean Bythell. This is the second book by Sean. Bythell, I'm not sure. I have been to his shop, the bookshop in Wigtown, and it's gorgeous shop. I'm obsessed with it. It's so beautiful. I actually went last year with my family, and in the hope that I could get him to sign my book, but he was away on his hauls, so that was a no. Then he's released this one, and yeah, I'm hoping, I think he's got another one coming out very soon actually, so hoping that maybe next year when everything's calmed down, maybe we might get the chance to go again and I could get him to sign all of them. Maybe, we'll see. But I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. This is just a collection of Sean. Basically, it's like the Diary of a Bookseller, which was his first one. I'll show a picture of it here. I gave this one 5 stars, to be honest. I found this one a lot more funnier. What this one sort of goes through, it's a little bit deeper actually, this one. We go through some other stuff that Sean's got going on in his own life, not just surrounding the bookshop. So yeah, it was good. 4 out of 5 stars, really enjoyed it. And then the final book that I didn't get a chance to finish, I could finish it tonight, to be perfectly honest. It would not take me long. It would probably take me about an hour and a half to do it and it would be done, but I'm not in the mood to read just in general. So I've had a pretty active day today. I have been like tidying up and changed the bedding on my bed and put the washing away, and this all seems like really trivial stuff, and it seems like it shouldn't be a big deal for me to do these things, but it is. So we'll just let that slide. But yeah, I changed the bedding, put all the washing away. I've been tidying up in here. I've reshuffled a few things in here, so my TBR cart is now in this corner rather than being in my bay window, and I've just changed a few things around in here a little bit, done a bit of tidying up, and then I've taken a load of Instagram pictures. I have edited this video. I've planned my Instagram pictures for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and yeah, I've just been doing a lot. I have also been reading and I watched the F1. So I've had a lot to do today and I'm just getting a little bit tired, just not sleepy tired, but just, you know, want to relax and wind down. So I think I'm going to stick a film on instead of reading. But I'm talking about Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. I was really hoping to finish this by the end of the weekend so I could have another book to review. But alas, that's not the case. However, I am reading this as part of Tandem Read Along, so thank you to them and the publishers for sending this along. Bloomsbury, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I am loving this. I'm at page 300 so far, so I only have 85 pages left to go, and I'm hoping to finish this one tomorrow. So yeah, just won't get it finished during Galleyathon, which is a shame, but nevertheless, I don't want to push myself to finish it and then not enjoy it because I've pushed myself, I've forced myself to read it. So there we have it. I've had a really great time actually doing Galleyathon, and I genuinely can't wait for the next, like I really can't wait for the next one, and I feel like wish that this was kind of like a month long or 2 weeks long or something. I could just carry on reading NetGalley books, to be perfectly honest. So I say this like it's not an option for me, like I couldn't just do it next week anyway, but I do have a bunch of other books I really need to get to, like physical books now. So it's been nice though. I know that Connor was going on the other day about the fact that he's jealous because I had a physical book I could read because I was physically reading this. So it's been nice to still physically read a book and not just be on my Kindle the whole week. I get why a week is probably the limit, because obviously it's a lot, isn't it, to just read your books on Kindle for a whole week. I mean, some people probably just only read books on the Kindle anyway in general, so you guys are superheroes. I couldn't do that. But yeah, so I've had a really good time. I've had an absolute blast. Managed to get through some really good books, so I'm really happy. The books that I didn't finish, that I did start during this readathon but didn't finish, are The Printed Letter Bookshop. I didn't get any further with that than I think I mentioned it, but I can't remember. But I think I only got a few hours into that one. Let me see, because I was listening to it on BookBeat. So I only got a few hours in. I got 27% through that one. Grave Secrets, I got about 10% through that. I didn't carry on with any more of that either. And yeah, I will continue to try and keep on top of my NetGalley arcs. Like Grave Secrets comes out at the beginning, I think it's the 3rd of September. So yeah, maybe I might get a chance to actually get on top of my upcoming arcs coming out. I know I'm not going to get on top of my backlist at the moment, but my upcoming arcs, it would be nice to be on top of that and be giving my reviews on publication days and stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, this is really giving me the kick up the butt that I really needed, and I had a great time. So thank you to Connor and Brooke for hosting. I had an absolutely fabulous time. Do go check them out in the comments down below, and if you want to take part in Galleyathon next time, I will leave the link to their Twitter down below where they post all of their announcements. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like down below if you have. I would really appreciate it, and if you haven't already, please subscribe again. I would really appreciate it, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.